Let me stand up for Alyssa because she wowed me. She really did. I asked her. I tried to nail her down. I wanted her to give me process. Like a roadmap. Yeah. What's the first thing you have to do to implement AI? You know what she said to me? She said, sit down with the organization and find out why they want it and what their real long-term intent is. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of philosophical. But hats off to her. She understood it. She said, listen, if we don't have also a moral compass and principles on why we're doing this, we're getting ourselves into deep water without knowing what the consequences might be.
Yeah, absolutely. I super support her thoughts there, because if I have to think of one thing, we got to slam the brakes. The more change is going fast around us, the more we have to have that pause button, right? And I'm not saying slow things down. I'm all for speed. Matter of fact, we need to even be faster in our decision-making process and our speed to market and everything else. There's no doubt. Yeah. However, there are those pause moments where you really make those concrete choices and realize, hey, I am not going to run just because everybody else is so wowed by Gen AI or its applications, or the fact that it reads my PDF document and allows me to really figure out, the focus areas.
It writes my report that nobody's going to read.
Exactly. So who really cares if I'm not so clear on the value proposition? So she's spot on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, if I still may, I'm gonna pull out your book because, like I said, I love it. So I think it's a great way to create a little bit of structure. Let's start off with a good stupid question, right? Because you start off your book with this. I think almost every academia starts. So what the heck is a program? Differentiate it for us.
It sounds like also you don't have the hardcover yet, because
I'm waiting for it. I couldn't get it. It's not available. I had to look at digital versions and stuff like that. Share the wealth.
Wiley surprised me actually that they were ready.
And I want a signed copy.
Yes, I'm happy to. So, Wiley surprised me that they were ready actually exactly at the summit.
Great publishing house. Yeah. That says a lot already right off the bat.
No, absolutely. So, why program management? Maybe start with adjusting the question to that. I hope that already was clear in our journey so far on the podcast. If I had to make some tough choices, and we're not going to do that here. We're not going to redesign the definition of project. We're not going to, say bye to the PMBOK guide, because also the PMBOK guide is an example of really great material. Yeah. Right. So the shift that happened.
I don't think we need to reinvent that wheel. I think we need to add to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just need to realize, even your comments about beginning and end and all of that, that's all nice and good. And maybe that's semantics, or maybe that stays or not. I don't really care, because we really need to be shifting our attention to value. So the reason I'm attracted to program management is two things. One, everyone does get involved in these initiatives because there is a change that's required. Whether the change is really internal in the organization, whether the change is external to affect our products or solutions coming out to market, whether the change is in terms of how we make our customers' experience fully digital or whatever it is. No matter what the change is, it's a change. Yeah. Programs, because of the level of maturity around typically thinking of the program and its multiple number of interaction points, dependencies, closer links to strategy, etc. But by the way, that may not be the case. Because I've been in cases, Mark, over the years, I was in industries like in the automotive industry, where they never use the word project, for example, and some of the big threes and so on. They always use programs. But if you boil it down to it,
the UN is a good example of it. They're getting in the habit of calling things project, but most of the things that they have at the UN are called programs.
Yeah. So again, for me, the attraction was, I'm all about creating change. Mm-hmm. Programs are the vehicles for that. Mm-hmm. Programs, because of the preparation and the potential maturity of the person leading those initiatives being higher, that's what attracted me to shift in that space. The reason I mentioned that in the book is I'm not disqualifying projects. You got to nail some of those mechanics, let's call them. You got to nail exactly what it takes to deliver into the future, because I mentioned things like ways of working, and you mentioned things about the agility. We mentioned things about the impact of technology and so forth. All of that's a given. The program is the unifying element of that. The reason I love programs, it unifies all that.